Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and greetings. My name is Muhammad Irfan Hilmi, and along with my supervisor, Associate Professor Dr. Raziah Muhammad, and also greetings to my examiners. And today I will present about my thesis, which is the title of the thesis is Code Flow Visualization Mobile Application. Okay, so first thing first, let's go into the problem background. Okay, so for the problem background, understanding and learning about program flow is not easy for beginners. So for those who just learn about programming, straight coding into an actual programming language can be quite hard. It's not really easy to understand what's actually written in the code, and so the program code or the flow is not very intuitive at first, and this is also a problem for beginners. And there are not many learning tools available for learning programming, and especially to make it intuitive, so especially in a mobile platform. Usually there are a few uh, in a PC platform, but not really in mobile. Okay, so therefore, this project is aimed to develop a code flow visualization mobile application, which is called CodeChart Visual, to visualize program or code flow using flowchart and code conversion. So this application will be for mobile application, which is in interactive, something like program editor, but the program will be in using flowchart model, and it will also be able to convert the flowchart into the to actual programming language. And okay, so the project objective, we have currently 3 project objective for this project, which is to get the requirements for the CodeChart Visual application, and to design and implement the CodeChart Visual application, and to test the implementation of the CodeChart Visual application. And so we will go into the next section, which is the current system analysis. So currently, for available or similar system to our solution, we have 3 major candidates here. We have first Dracon, and then next one we have Raptor, and also Algorithm. Okay, so all of these program is similar to our proposed solution, which is something like a program editor, but using a flowchart model. So for the deeper analysis, we go into the next slide, which is we have this table here. So we have the some characteristic here. For the Raptor, we have the simple in-app guide. What does it mean by a simple in-app guide? Which is when we interact with the program, we can see the guideline on how to use the program easily. It is already embedded in each of the element in the program, while in Flowgorithm and Dracon, it is not so much obvious, but it still have like guides and a tutorial in their website, but not embedded in the application. And for the Raptor and Dracon, they have a built-in sample in the installation. So they have a built-in program such as the already built one. So the user can open the example and see for themselves the example the already existing program. While in Algorithm, the program doesn't have any built-in sample in the installation, but they do also have it in their website, but not in the application. And for the user-friendly UI design, it is only applicable in the Algorithm, since in the Raptor and Dracon, the UI design is very simple. They usually only apply like a grayscale image, so only mostly just black and white color. But in Algorithm, the UI is more user friendly with like more colors to indicate a different state or status. And we have the runnable flowchart. So the runnable flowchart means that the program or the flowchart in the application can be run just like a real program, but using a flowchart model, and it can be done in Raptor and Flowgorithm. So the user can build the flowchart, and then after they build it, the user can run it to see what the program does. While in Dracon, it is not possible, and since Dracon is more like for drawing the flowchart itself, not really like flowchart editor to be for running the flowchart program. And so the next one, we have the intuitive program syntax. And so the syntax in Raptor, it is quite intuitive, since also before we have a simple in-app guide. So not only that it is intuitive, but it also has the guide. So the user can easily knows what to do when using the program. While in Flowgorithm, it is not very intuitive, although it is still easy to use. While in Dracon, it's not applicable, since it cannot run the flowchart. And the next one is the program debug capability. For both Raptor and Flowgorithm, they have the capability to debug the program. What it means is that when the program is running, we can see things such as the variable watch, and then the which function they are calling, something like that. And so it basically just stack trace and variable watch. And so in the Dracon it's not applicable. And how easy to edit the flowchart? So in Raptor, it is quite easy, since we also have the simple in-app guide and also the intuitive program syntax. It is easy to edit the flowchart and also to add and delete the flowchart element. The user can just drag and drop the elements to the flowchart, or also selecting an element, clicking it, and then clicking out the flowchart. It can be done also. While in Flowgorithm, it is more constrained, but it's still quite easy. However, it is not it cannot be edited as freely as in Raptor. But in Dracon, it has no constraint whatsoever, since it is more like for mainly drawing tools. But so it doesn't really have any constraints, since the user can place wherever they want. And for the conversion programming language support, the Flowgorithm has the most support here, with 18 code programming language support to convert the flowchart into actual programming language. And so the next one, we have this section for the technology used for the development. Okay, so for the development of our application, CodeChart Visual, it is in mobile application once again. So the language we will using is Dart, and along with the framework Flutter by Google. And for the API and library, we use Firebase as the backend for the database, and also Google API, various Google API, maybe such as Google Drive or Google Email, something like that. Okay, so for the next one, that's all for the technologies for the development. And the next one is the methodology that will be used for this development. And for this project, I will be using the Agile methodology. So the Agile methodology, we have 3 phases here: the pre-game phase, development phase, and post-game phase. And for this PSM1, the pre-game phase, this PSM1 includes this pre-game phase, which is the high-level design and architecture. And so for the next PSM, we have the development phase and the post-game phase. So in this phase, we focus on the design of the application or the system. And in the development, we'll be using a sprint to manage the development cycle. So in each sprint, we analyze the design and we develop the application, while keep cross-checking to the requirements of the system and introducing changes along while the development. And for this project, the sprint will be divided into 4 main sprints. And each sprint will take around 3 weeks or so. And so the next one, we have the system requirements here. First one, we have the use case diagram. So in this use case diagram, we can see the two actors here, which is the register user and the user. The user is the generalization of the register user. And so the main use case I want to highlight is the run flowchart, open flowchart, and the manage user-defined function and manage flowchart elements. So first one is the open flowchart, which is the specialization, which is the generalization also of the open example flowcharts. So it is quite straightforward. We can create new flowchart, open new flowchart. The user can also open an example flowchart in the application. We also can run the flowchart. So we can run the program, and we can also view the debug info, such as the variable watch that I mentioned before, and we can edit the variable from it. And we also have the manage flowchart element. So what it means is we can edit the flowchart, such as adding element like assignment or function call, branching element, or looping element. And we also can manage user-defined functions. So in the flowchart, just like any programming language, we can also define a user-defined function, which then it can be called from the main function. And right, so that is the overall use case diagram. And so for the next one, we have the architecture and component. So for this project, I will be using MVVM architecture, which is model view model architecture. So it is comparable to MVC. In this case, the model in MVC is the same. It is the model which handles the business logic and data. And in the view model is the controller, but the role is slightly different here, since the view model here is more like the binding between the model and the actual view, and the view is what the user see. And in this MVVM, the user interacts directly with the view, while also have a data binding relationship with the view model, which also enables the view to control the model in the application. All right, and so this is the component here. As you can see, the component is divided into the three main module, which is the flowchart editor package, and the profile management package, and code conversion package. And in each package, we can see we have the model and the service repository, view layer, view model layer. So the view layer is the view, and view model layer is the view model, and model is the model layer we saw from before, and the service and repository is just a complementary layer for the model layer. And so for this component, we also import from the Flutter framework to interact with the framework itself. And so the next one, we have the mockup interface. In this mockup interface, we have the main interface of the application. We have the flowchart editor, debug info, and code conversion. And in this one, we can see the first one is the flowchart editor. So in the flowchart editor, we can like add elements such as assignment or variable declaration and if or looping. And we can also see there's a minimap on the top right over there. So in case the flowchart gets too big, the user can scroll quite easily in the drawing board. So, and we can run the flowchart and pause or stop the flowchart. And so the second one in the middle, we have the debug info, which have the variable watch and the stack trace. So the stack trace it tracks which function we are currently calling, such as the main or the user-defined function, and we also shows the variable that is available to those functions. We can also edit the variables through this variable watch. And the last one on the right side, which is the code conversion interface. In this one, we can from the flowchart, we can convert it to actual programming code. We can select a few programming language such as maybe C++, and we can also see the result in here and save it to a file. All right, so I think that's everything. So for the conclusion, learning programming can be quite difficult and hard to understand, especially for beginners. However, using flowchart to visualize the flow can make the program or code easier to understand and to make it more intuitive. Uh, uh, so the beginners don't really can struggle less with understanding how programming works on or how code flow works. So therefore, I propose code chart visual to overcome this problem. And I think that's all of my presentation. Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.